Welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday. I'm your host, Bruce Johnson. We are vibing out right now to Case of the X, the newest single from Sham God. Make sure you guys are following him on Instagram, SHAMGOG. His album is on Apple Music right now. This song is such a vibe. So vibe out to the song and we'll get the show started. Don't tell me to say what you want. Don't tell me to say what you need. Don't tell me to say. Figure this is a good song to set the tone for today, you know? So today is season 5, episode 6, Case of the X. Y'all can check that out. Make sure y'all download that on iTunes, Google Play, Apple Music. It is a hot song, hot record. Sham God, Case of the X. So, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday. As I stated, today is season 5, episode 6. Yo, we are so lit. I don't know if y'all realize, but like, Talk to Me Tuesday is so lit. And I just realized I didn't turn my camera on. Hold on. Y'all know I'm used to having an assistant. So we ain't gonna trip. Like I know what I'm doing all the time. But I think I'm recording. All right, I hope so. Anyway, without further ado, welcome to the show, Talk to Me Tuesday Live. Just Jocelyn, I'm your host. Miss you guys, love you guys. Before we go, of course, special shout outs to my weekend. My weekend was super, super lit. Then it was like kind of crazy yesterday because I had some car issues. So I was a little annoyed, but I definitely want to give a special shout out to everybody that booked me this weekend. That was super lit. I had a great time this weekend. I hosted the adult game night presented by the founders. I hosted the poetry and networking event by Molly the Poet. So both events were super lit, super dope. I'm just, glad that you guys are continuing to love me. Today, again, as I stated, the topic is Case of the X, but I do have a special surprise for you guys. If y'all already saw, I gave like a little teaser, and I do have tickets. I have 2 tickets that I will be giving away today's show for the Masquerade and Lingerie Party, October 27th, powered by powered by Purple Pigtails. Her name is so twisted to me. Make sure you guys follow her on Instagram, Purple Pigtails 2.0. I will be giving away those tickets before the end of the show, so make sure y'all continue to tune in, and I will be choosing 2 lucky winners to get those tickets to the Masquerade and Lingerie Party, because I saw the info and the pictures from her last event, and I was like, yo. So I'll definitely be in the building. Purple Pigtails, I made a connection with her for the weekend, so I thought that was amazing. So I got the tickets to give away, So make sure y'all watch, and we will figure out who will win. But we're going to get into this topic. So, Case of the X. Now, I put up a couple little memes. Y'all was like giving me a hard time. Y'all was cracking up. Y'all thought it was so funny. But the Case of the X, I feel like exes are such a big deal these days. Like, some people make it such a big deal, like, oh, I hate my ex, I never want to talk to them again, I hope they die. Or some people take it, from one extreme to the next. So it's just like, yo, me and my ex are like the best of friends, and I'll never stop talking to them. And, any relationship that I get in after them, they're just going to have to understand because this person's never going nowhere. And now we're so cool, yada, yada, yada. So I want us to talk about this. I know I have my pros and cons and my opinions, but of course, as you guys know, Talk to Me Tuesday is always an open forum, so y'all are more than welcome to make sure y'all give y'all comments, give y'all feedback, let me know what y'all thinking, what y'all gotta say, because this whole X thing is serious business. I'm going to open up with a scenario, and we're going to get into the topic, but I definitely want to start with the all-time question. The all-time question is, should you be friends with an ex? Like, it's so trivial nowadays. And I don't know how it was back in the day, and I don't know if it's our new generation and we just all want to be friends with each other, or, I don't know. I'm not really sure, and everybody has their own opinions. Like I said, some people are like, hell no. Once you're an ex, you could die, you could leave me alone. But, I feel like it's circumstantial. Like, I really feel like it's circumstantial, and I know that, if you're a fan of Talk to Me Tuesday, then I'm very transparent, and I speak pretty frequently about my exes, and I can say with a straight face that I'm friends with just about all of my exes. Any of my previous relationships, like significant relationships, we are still friends. We are still cordial. I would still consider them a friend, a confidant, whatever. So that's just me. I don't know. And there's been times where it kind of has its pros and its cons, and it's just like, girl, it's probably not a good idea. But, that's just me. So I would love to hear from you guys, because I know how I'm moving, but my way is not always the best way. So it's just like, how do you stay friends with an ex? Like I said, I feel like the main thing is the circumstances. Depending on the circumstances in which you dealt with this person and the situation ended, I feel like that has like 99.9% of the weigh in on if you stay friends or not. I also think that it has a lot to do with the nature of the relationship that you were in. Now, if this is somebody, because I'm not going to say y'all, I try not to be too judgmental, but we all have a tendency sometimes, it's just like, anybody you're talking to, that's not a relationship. They're not an ex. You used to talk to them and now you don't. They're not an ex. I'm talking about an ex is somebody that used to be in an actual relationship with, like we were in a committed relationship, you were my girlfriend, I was your boyfriend, or you were my husband, you were my wife, whatever, like an actual relationship. Even some people that have kids together weren't in relationships. That's just your baby daddy or your baby mama. But if you were in an actual full-blown relationship, then I feel like that's where we start. So if you had a real relationship with this person and then you guys decided that the relationship was over, or you decided to part ways, they are technically your ex. That is your ex. So somebody that you've been with, that y'all have shared time, whether y'all was together for 6 months, 9 months, 2 years, whatever. If you guys were in an established relationship, then that is technically your ex. That's how I see it. And that's how science sees it. That's how the dictionary sees it. So that's what we're going to go off. So I want to first make that very clear, because a lot of us be like, oh, that's my ex. And it's just like, no, that's the girl you used to talk to. You all used to talk for a couple months, and y'all might have been exclusively fucking. Or, you weren't necessarily dating anybody else, but y'all were not in an established, committed relationship. So, if not, then they ain't your ex. That's just one of your old bitches. It's a little different. You see what I'm saying? A little teeny. It's a little tweak to it that it makes a little bit of difference. Like, oh, that's just one of my old bitches. So, I feel like, number one, if you can, so again, it's about how the relationship was, what type of relationship you guys were in. If you were in a real established relationship for, X amount of time, months or years or whatever, then there's already an established mutual respect. There's already an established mutual liking. There's already an established mutual loving. That is already there. And I feel like a lot of us tend to pretend that doesn't exist, or try to force ourselves to pretend that doesn't exist once you break up, or they're your ex, or you're no longer in that relationship. It's just like, oh, I don't love her anymore. Oh, I don't care about her. I don't even like her. And sometimes things happen depending on how the relationship ended. You might have a little bit of resentment toward them, and it's just like, oh, you might be a little bit of an asshole. But we have to ask ourselves, how much of this asshole were you during our relationship. If during the relationship they were the same person that they were at the end, then I don't feel like that is kind of valid. It's just like now you're mad and now you don't want to deal with it. Whereas before you sat there with this person for months on end or years on end or whatever the case. So it has a lot to do with how the relationship ends. Now, if you end the relationship and this person has like done you wrong, you know, anybody that's out here being abused, if you know you guys had physical altercations or you know they did some real grimy shit, it's just like, okay, I can see you saying, ooh, now I don't like you. But I feel like that mutual respect, some of it, most of it is still there. I feel like if you have had, if your relationship ended on a mutual understanding, not like you just woke up one morning, the nigga was gone, and he started a new family, and he said, fuck you, I never loved you, I hate you, and you're on your own. Yeah, I can see how you might not want to be friends with him. But if it was just like a mutual, this isn't working, you know, I have my issues, you have your issues, and our issues together are not really working out, and I don't think that we should do this anymore, then it's just like, okay, I can respect that. We have both agreed. We both agreed to not be together. Now, when you get dumped, it's a little different because, you know, you're upset, and sometimes when you get dumped, you're not expecting it. Some of us, we already kind of know it's coming, but when it comes, just like, oh, okay, well, I didn't expect it. But you knew that this shit wasn't working out, and it was just an accident waiting to happen, and you were just waiting around until the right time. I was just about to dump you, but you dumped me, so okay, I'll give it to you. So some of us already know, but I just feel like if it's a mutual, if you guys end on good terms, and it's just like, okay, you go your way, I go my way. But the love that I have for you hasn't changed. Like, that doesn't go away. I don't feel like it goes away. I'm not even going to say in my opinion. It doesn't go away. And this is my thoughts. If it goes away like this, then it didn't really exist. And it's not really substantial feelings. Now, if you didn't get to a place where you love this person, y'all were just in a committed relationship, but you didn't love them. Because that is the thing. Not all committed relationships have gotten to a love stage. Some people just decide to commit to each other and, you know, commit to the relationship and commit to working on the relationship before, you know, they get to that place within themselves where they can say they love this person or they're in love with this person. So that's a different circumstance. But some of the things about this person you still would have had to enjoy and like and be pretty fond of. Quite a few things about this person and their character and their personality and their characteristics that you decided to commit to them in the first place. So you have to kind of take accountability for that. You can't be trying to flip it like, oh, now it's fuck you because you decided that you don't want to be with me anymore. So the pros and cons of being friends with an ex, and you guys can comment, and I'll get to the comments. I'm a little far away, but my iPad's charging. I have to be transparent with you guys. But I will get to the comments, and I'll try to go over some of them during the show. So I think that number one, the main thing is, the main reason most people keep in contact with their ex or try to stay friends with their ex, it kind of like lightens the blow a little bit. It gives you, it avoids that feeling of like a loss, like the grieving process. You know, it's not as hard of a grieving process when you guys stay friends. Because it's just like, I lost you, and I'm used to you, and this is my everyday, my person. I love her. I used to see her every day. We talk all night, blah, blah, blah. So when you agree to stay friends, it's like, okay, I might not talk to you all day, every day, but I still have more access to you. So it's not as hard as, you know, the difference with when you break up with somebody and then you just cut them off. Like, now you're blocked, I'm blocked, we don't talk, I never see you, I never hear from you, I don't see your pictures, you don't call me, you know, I can't see your family. It's just a lot. So that grieving aspect or that bereavement process, some people don't want to go through that. Or being friends does kind of lighten that. So you don't feel as deeply sorrowed that, you know, this person is out of your life. Because when you're in a relationship, especially a committed relationship, especially a halfway decent relationship that's going the way it probably should be, then you are probably not consumed with that person, but they are pretty important fixture in your day to day. So when you break up with this person or when the relationship takes a turn, it's just like now that fixture is now my day to day is a little thrown off. If I'm used to seeing you all the time, this is what I do. When I wake up in the morning, I text you good morning. While I'm at my lunch break, that's who I talk to on the phone. When I go to bed at night, this is who I'm texting or talking to or FaceTiming. You know, when I watch my favorite show, this is who I watch it with. When I want to go to the movies, when I want to go shop, like that's what a relationship is. Like you and that person are like one and the same. It's just like, all right, we got so many things that we do together. And especially if you talking about a more long-term or more serious relationship where it was probably like whether you live together, if you live with the person, or you know you were married, or you know you have children together, then it just gets deeper. But just think about even a regular 8-month, 9-month, 12-month relationship. Y'all do a lot of shit. Think about if you're not single, think about how many things you do with your partner right now. And just imagine your 24-hour day without that person. It's just like, damn. I didn't realize how much I was with this nigga. It ain't even about I love you and all that. It's just like, damn, like I really do everything with you. And, you know, so to have that taken away from you, it's just like, ooh, if I can avoid that inconvenience, it's really an inconvenience. It's really an inconvenience. It's just like, ooh, yeah, I don't really feel like not having nobody to watch my favorite show with. Or I can watch the show by myself and now I'm gonna be all fucked up because all I'm gonna be doing is thinking about you, wishing that we could laugh at these jokes together or cry at this part together or, you know, whatever. So I feel like it definitely keeps you from feeling that deep sense of loss and grievement. And it softens the blow of the breakup because breakups are hard. Whether you even if you're the dumper, it's still hard on you because again, this person is a fixture in your life. So yeah, it's something about them that they know that you no longer like or no longer want to deal with, which is why you're deciding to end the relationship. But there's still a whole lot about them that you do like and you do enjoy, and you're going to miss or you're going to be without for, you know, and you have to kind of process that. So that's a process. Another thing is, so the flip side to that is being friends with an ex makes you really vulnerable. It puts you in the extremely vulnerable space of being hurt again. You're pretty much putting yourself right in the line of fire. Like you're right, the target right here, because it's just like, yes, I don't want to feel as hurt. I want to lighten the load and lighten the blow and not feel, you know, like I'm grieving as much and try to kind of ease my way out of this and, you know, ease this person out of my life. But in the meantime, you're making yourself extremely vulnerable for emotional disaster. When you're friends with the next, number one, first of all, everybody's going to move on at some point. Now, if you're the person that got dumped, maybe it takes you longer to move on than the other person. But when they start to move on, you're saying you want to be friends, but when they move on, you are not going to be okay. You may try to tell yourself, like, you know what, I'm good. This is just my friend. I could deal with this, you know, yada, yada, yada. I ain't really worried about it. We're just friends. But to see your person, the person that we just named, all these things that you love about this person, that you're used to about this person, whether it's something simple as like, I love that perfume, or I love how they cook, I love this show, watching it with them, and then they start watching that same show with another motherfucker, or they start making their famous chicken pasta for the next bitch. Oh no, I'm not okay. I am not okay. I'm not okay. I'm sorry, I'm not. But now you have put yourself in this, we're just friends. So now I'm giving off the impression that I can deal with this. I'm good. Like, so you're allowing yourself to kind of be vulnerable. Like you're allowing yourself to be the target, and you're signing up for the hurt. It's not even anything that they're doing to you. They may not be intentionally hurting you. You guys agreed to separate. And then you guys agreed to still be friends, so you're separate but friends, so you're around. But this person has this person over here, And you know, sometimes you get a person over there, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people over there just because to occupy your time. But that doesn't change the way you still feel about this person, the connection that y'all still had, and your feelings are still raw. So I do say that if you must, you know, definitely give it time. A major key is time. So it's not a matter of, okay, you broke up and now we're friends. We broke up today and okay, we're gonna agree to be friends. I agree that we're not gonna be together, but we are friends. Now I'm gonna hang out with you only on the weekends, not when you first break up. There needs to be a little downtime. And it's just like, you know, they're gonna miss you, you're gonna miss them, you're gonna kind of cry and be fucked up, and they're gonna probably fuck a couple bitches just to try to feel like they don't want to be with you anymore, and that they finally free and they happy and they doing everything that they want to do. Why they wouldn't want to be in this fuck ass relationship with you in the first place? But you know, and the time is hard to say. Like you can't put, oh, it's not 2 weeks, it's not 30 days, not 60 days. It depends. It really depends. And that, I think that's probably the major part where we all go wrong. Because it's not that you can't, if you want to be friends with an ex, it's not that you can't do it, but you got to go about it properly. Sometimes we try to rush into the friend thing because it's like, whoa, if I let too much time go past, this motherfucker's going to be out of my life for good. And I didn't even get a chance to hold on to him. It doesn't really work like that. Sometimes you have to let that separation needs to happen. The separation needs to happen. That time, that space needs to happen. Give everybody a chance to calm their emotions down. You know, they may have been wanting to break up with you because they were so upset, you know, and this and that, or y'all might have had a big blowout breakup, and everybody needs to just take time to calm down. You've been crying and you got headaches and you stressed out and you still ripping up clothes and throwing dishes and breaking PlayStations. You know, you still kind of going through. So you need a little bit more time to, you know, kind of equal out your feelings. After a couple days, a couple weeks or so, maybe a couple months, depending on, you know, how fucked up you are, then it's just like, okay. Because sometimes within that time, that's really what's going to determine if you're ready to be friends with this person. Because them first couple days, first it's like, it's a really a grieving process. So you go through it's like I'm angry. I'm really angry, or, you know, hurt, upset, whatever the emotion behind the breakup was, you know, whatever the circumstances. You go through that, and then it's just like, okay, now I'm not mad no more. I'm not mad. I'm still a little salty, but I'm not mad. I'm still a little irritated and inconvenienced, but I'm not sad anymore. I'm not crying every day. I only cry once this week. Now that's the record. I was crying all day for 4 days straight. Now it's just like, it's been 3 days and I ain't shed a tear. Okay, but I'm still thinking about him. So, all right, I might need a little bit more time. But it's just like, you have to just understand your own process. Because they might need 3 days. You might need 3 weeks. Or vice versa. So you just have to understand, like, figuring yourself out throughout that process. Like, okay, all right, I'm better now. I'm better now. So give yourself that time, or you guys both need to give yourself that time and space to just let your emotions calm down. Nothing else, just to calm down your emotions. Then you want to definitely be mindful of if and when, you know, that person does reach out to you, or if you are the person that reaches out, be mindful of your agenda. What is your purpose behind reaching out to them? What is your purpose? What are you about to say? What exactly do you want? What do you want? Why are you calling me? Why are you texting me? Why do you even want to be friends? Because some people, you know, you have that hidden agenda. Now, I think that the hidden agenda is like a double-edged sword, right? Because the way I see it is, you know, you'll have some people say, true love never dies. Don't let love die. Fight for what you want. You know, relationships take hard work. Marriage is a struggle, and, you know, every day is not a happy day, blah, blah, blah. So you have that. You have that aspect. And then you have the shit's just not working, and I'm just trying to keep this person around because I don't feel like dealing with nobody else. I don't feel like going through the motions of getting another person. I don't feel like letting them go and be happy with somebody else. And I made them a better bitch. We ain't even gonna get into that. So it's just like, you have to figure out what is your reasoning. Because neither of them are wrong. But you have to know what your agenda is. And then that you need to know what their agenda is. Because sometimes, reconnecting with an ex or staying in contact with an ex can really be a means of reconciliation. It's just like, I'm trying to see if we can work this out. I'm trying to see if maybe we can just be friends and try to patch up what the issues were. Maybe we can get to the bottom of what really happened and, and hopefully things will turn around. So that is a possibility. But you just have to be real with yourself and then real with that person. And you guys have to be real with each other. And some of us are scared to do that. A lot of times we be like, oh, no, we just friends. Oh, enjoy your little girlfriend. Have fun with your little girlfriend. Helping you pick out clothes and shit. Like torturing yourself. Torturing ourselves. I've done it and I've had it done. So I know, you guys know that I try to just speak on situations that I at least have a little bit of knowledge or I have kind of like secondhand knowledge of. And I've seen it done and it's just like, okay, so what exactly am I doing right now? Like, you have to understand, again, you need to know what your agenda is and what their agenda is. And, you have to make sure that what you're doing coincides with theirs and vice versa. And you guys aren't like playing each other. Or, and you can't lie to yourself. So what I will say is you have to be accountable for your own feelings and your own agenda. That other person is not responsible for your thoughts and feelings. If you are telling them, yeah, I just want to be friends, I'm cool, I got me a nigga, you got a bitch, whatever, we good, but, I fucks with you, so I could talk to you once in a while, we can hang out sometimes, bring your girlfriend around, we can double date, da-da-da-da-da, and it's just like, if you're saying all that, but you don't really mean that, and really what you mean in your heart and in your head is, oh my God, I love you so much, and I really just want to do whatever I can to try to make this work. Please don't move on. Just see me for what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to be better, and maybe we can just start over. If you don't say that, if you're feeling that, but you're saying some other shit, then you can't get mad at that other person for not having a clue. You got to be accountable and responsible for your own agenda, and you have got to voice it. Because I'm not going to know. I don't know what the hell if you're telling me you good, then I'm going to assume you're good. I'm not a fucking mind reader. And even if I am, it's not my job to read your mind. It's just like, because now I'm stressing myself out like, well, she might mean this, but she might mean that. She might be playing, but she might be joking. I can't. Don't do that. That's not the move. So either be upfront about how you feel or you still need a little bit more time. That's basically what that boils down to. So, and then like I said, and be aware of their agendas as well. Because that shit can get dangerous. Be aware of the other person's agenda. So you are accountable and responsible for your own, and you need to be mindful of what they're putting out. You need to come right at, like, what's going on? What exactly are we doing? Because I don't want to think we're doing one thing. Now, I done told you this is what I want to do. I need to know what exactly that you want to do. If I'm sitting here saying I really do think that I would just like for us to work it out. I know we might need some time apart and, maybe we could just talk here and there. But my ultimate goal is for us to possibly reconcile and fix this. If the other person knows in their mind it ain't fucking happening, I need to know that. Do not leave the other person on like, oh, well, maybe. If you think maybe, then say maybe. But if you know how you feel, especially if you were the one that broke up with them in the first place, if you know, I don't want to be with this bitch. I done waited all this time to break up with her in the first place. I am done. I'm like 1,000% done. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to be attracted to you. I don't want to sleep with you. I'm never going to marry you. I don't like how you look. I don't like how you cook. There's nothing you can do to fix it. Then you need to be honest. And it's going to hurt. But the shit hurt regardless. I'm already hurt. Lay it on me now. Lay it all on me. Pile it all. Salt, pepper, shaker. Put all the shit on me now. give off the impression that there's hope when there's not. Period. You are, again, we are both responsible for our own agendas. If my agenda is to reconcile and yours is not, then you just need to tell me. Don't, because then what happens is, let me give you guys an example, because then what happens is, then you start to play on the other person. So this is when it gets dangerous. This is when people start to hate their ex. Because you play on the other person's vulnerability, right? So it's like, you know that they want to reconcile. You know deep down in your heart, I don't even fuck with you like that. I'm never going to fuck with you like that. I have no intentions on fucking with you like that. But you do always give me money. You really always gonna come through in the clutch. You would still let me use your car if I asked you. You really would kind of, you're going to be the one to buy me a gift. If I need my daughter to come over there, I know she probably can come. So I probably should stay in contact with you so I can still kind of utilize you as a resource. I'm not going to say use, but utilize you as a resource. So it's just like, no, now you're being dangerous because your agenda is just to use me. You're trying to play on my vulnerability. So that's what I mean by be responsible for your own agendas. And you need to know what the other person's agenda is. If they are telling you or they're giving off the impression that there's no fixing it, then you're going to need to take that pain. You're going to have to cry a couple more weeks and bite that and leave them the fuck alone. But if it's a mutual understanding and a mutual possibility of reconciliation, then you guys are on the same page, and it's just like, okay, maybe we just needed some time apart. Maybe we moved too fast, and now, we should try to be friends for 6 months and see what happens. But if I know that that's not where you're at, or I know that's not where I'm at, but that's where you at, it's just like, so here's the thing. And and you bite the bullet. You bite the bullet. You already broke this person's heart by telling them that you didn't want to be with them. So now you're about to double break it by leading them on for another 8 months or however long until you get everything. So then that's how people start to hate you. Because then it's just like, this motherfucker, no, you didn't fucking want to be with me. You don't waste my motherfucking time. You already broke my heart. I say let's be friends. You should have told me right then and there while I was already fucked up, crying and ugly, looking a mess and throwing shit. No, Jocelyn, the friend thing, that's not going to happen. I don't want to be with you. I'm never going to want to be with you, and I need you to leave me alone. Now, you don't have to say it as harsh like that unless that's how you feel. Because I made a daily dose about this a few weeks ago. It's just like, you have got to say what you mean. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Because once you start the sugarcoating, that's sugarcoating. It goes from, people think that sugarcoating is like a little white lie. It's just like, oh no, just say it a little nicer. But what happens is that snowballs. You go from a little sprinkle of sugar over top of some shit, and then it snowballs into a fucking nice, glittery piece of shit. It's like, no, that's not what I meant. Now you done misconstrue everything. I done told you, I done gave you a little white line, said, oh, well, maybe. No, I should have cut you right the fuck off and let your ass know it ain't happening. I'm sorry that you are fucked up, and I know this is going to fuck you up, but I have to say this. Because I got to do this shit for me. I don't want it on my conscience that I'm fucking you over. Or got you feeling all fucked up about yourself. Or now you hate me and now you busting my tires and my windows and trying to fight me. And I don't got time for that. Nobody has time for that. So it's like, but you have to be honest. You have to be honest with yourself. And you have to be honest with that other person. Because the friends with your ex thing, it's not for everybody. Just because they want to be your friend, that don't mean you have to agree if that's not how you feel. Because it gets dangerous. Another thing you want to make sure that you're doing is make sure that you keep the disrespect down. So like I just mentioned, the whole, busting out windows and, the fighting and calling names. If something went on with you and a person, even if it was a bad breakup, keep the name calling and the derogatory disrespect, keep that shit to a low. Especially now, we're in the age of social media. Keep all the smart shit on social media and all the memes and posts and subliminal fucked up shit, because whether you guys realize that or not, that's nothing but a reflection on you. Because no matter how mad you are, how upset you are, how many times he cheated on you, or how many times she couldn't suck your dick right, or she can't cook, and all these things that you now want to say about her, you were with her for all this time. Whether it was 6 months, 6 days, 60 days, 90 years, whatever, you was with them. So what is the point of like disrespecting and degrading and, defaming the person's character of somebody that you were with? Because I don't know if you guys don't realize this, but because when you're in a relationship, your partner is a representation of you. Can we get some thumbs up if we agree on that? If you're not aware of that, let me reiterate. When you're in a relationship, your partner is a representation of you. You're getting judged by the bitches that you fuck with. You're getting judged by the niggas that you fuck with. If this is your nigga, you gonna heart for him, and he's a weirdo, he's a clown, he's a lame, he's this, that's a reflection of you. Now, you may not be a lame and all this and that, but it's a reflection of you. This is who you choose to be with. This is who you choose to spend your days with. This is who you choose to commit to. Out of the 60 billion people in the world, that's who you chose. So it kind of falls back on you, whatever their characteristics are. So when you decide to highlight those characteristics later on down the line, when things don't work out, it's probably not in your best interest to do so. You probably shouldn't be all on the gram screaming, this nigga was so fucking broke. Well, you was fucking with the broke ass nigga all this time. So what was going on when you had all this stuff? Well, who was buying that? Oh, you were buying it for yourself. Oh, because now you're going to be forced to tell the truth. So don't try to play don't try to defame their character and, make them look less than or disrespect them, because you're just disrespecting yourself. Because at the end of the day, you spent time with this person. You gave them, you invested, like I said, whether it was 6 months, 60 days, whatever, you invested into them. So if they were that bad, then you're just as dumb. Why were you sitting with that person for that time? Oh, well, once I realized it, then that's when I walked away. Okay, but you probably shouldn't tell nobody that that's what the fuck happened. Be quiet. Keep it between you guys. And I feel like that's that's an immature, emotional, like a reaction, like a knee-jerk reaction when you're emotional. And when you're immature and you're not in a state where you can be mindful of the shit you're doing, it's just like you kind of knee-jerk and do dumb shit. But I feel like if you're watching this, then you're probably an adult. Most of my followers or viewers are at least 21. Most of us are 25, 30 and up. Like, that's just not okay. It's not okay because, like I said, it's deeper than being on Instagram or being on Facebook or talking shit on the internet. It's just like you're now disrespecting this person, which just backlashes to you. It backlashes to you. Because then it shows whether, number one, it shows that you're hella immature and you can't be trusted because, bitch, if anything goes down, I'm going to know that you're going to spill all the beans. As soon as you get mad at me, you're going to tell me tell all my business. Or, number two, now I know that what you're willing to settle for. Because you just sat here and told us that you was with this nigga for 9 years. And now, as soon as y'all break up, you want to tell us how his dick is little, he broke, his baby mama on crack, his kids is dumb. He can't fucking drive. He can't fix a washer. He ain't good for shit. Okay, so 9 years, you mean to tell me you settled for all this bullshit for 9 years? Now I'm looking at you like, things that make you go, So now you just pulled your own card. You just pulled your card and let us know that what you're willing to settle for. So especially keep it off the gram. And try to keep it away from your girlfriends and shit too. It's a little bit harder with your girlfriends because, when you're emotional, that's when you get on the phone like, I hate her, Or guys be all in the gym or playing ball like, man, fuck that bitch. I don't give a fuck. She couldn't cook anyway. Her back shot was trash. Well, you was fucking the shit out of her. The bitch got 2 babies by you, so one of them shots worked. Something she did made you bust, so be quiet. You see what I'm saying? Also, do not. So this is a tricky one. It's a really tricky one because it kind of gives off the impression like, oh, I can't live my life and do what I want to do. Now remember, when you are agreeing to be friends with an ex, again, there's a mutual understanding, a mutual respect that exists that already existed, which is why you guys feel like you can be friends, right? So you have to, no matter whether you want to admit it or not, or realize it or not, and if you can't do this, then this is your number one reason to know that you're not ready to be friends with your ex. You have still got to kind of consider what be mindful in the things you do or your dealings with them. Now, I'm not saying your everyday life you have to worry about their feelings, and because that's how you are when you're in a relationship. When you're in a relationship with this person, everything you do, you kind of got to think about them on the back end. Like, ooh, if I get ice cream, is she going to be mad if I come home with some ice cream and she ain't got none? If I say I'm going away for the weekend, is she going to be salty because I didn't tell her? Like, do I have to, so it's common courtesy, some common things, Clearly, I can't just be sticking my tongue out to girls' post on the Instagram and under anybody picture the girl that she don't like. I'm going to have to think about that. However, when you are friends with the next, you still have to be mindful in your dealings. So hear me out, because I don't know if y'all about to grind me up or y'all not understanding, and I feel like this is a gray area that a lot of people these lines get so blurred. When you agree to be friends with the next, that means you're agreeing on respecting the relationship that you guys had, the bond that you have, not relationship. Let me not use that word because it kind of throws people off. But the bond that you guys have is what is allowing y'all to have a friendship. It's just like, ooh, okay, the relationship aspect of this didn't work. However, you're still a really dope person. You're a really great friend. You're really supportive. You're really understanding. You really, you really get me. You really help me. There's still mutual things that we are benefiting from each other outside of being in a relationship. So then you have to be mindful in the shit that you do and not purposely flaunt certain things in front of them. Like, granted, your new person, your ex knows that you have a new person, for example. You have a new girlfriend, wife, boyfriend, husband, whatever. You have to be mindful not to flaunt them around each other. So, for example, I used the example earlier that, we get into these new relationships and it's just like, okay, well, that's my ex, but she's really my friend. And, and she's kind of around, like, we still have a really good relationship, especially when there's kids involved. And I'm going to get into that as well. Like, we have a really good relationship. We have a really good rapport with each other. So just so you know, that's somebody that is kind of around. She's still in my life. That is, first of all, when you get a new person, if you decided to be friends with your ex, that's kind of something that needs to be addressed pretty early on in your dealings with this new person. They need to know what's up from the rip, from the beginning. And a lot of people don't do it just out of, I don't even know what it's out of. I don't want to say it's out of fear, but it's just like, I feel like it's out of immaturity. I feel like when you're a mature adult, you already made the decision to be in the friendship with your ex. So now you can't tell nobody about it? What are you, afraid? You're ashamed? Or you scared that the new bitch ain't gonna fuck with you? Okay, then either number one, you don't need to be doing it. Or number two, then you don't need to be with this person. If you feel so strongly that I have to be friends with this girl, I have to be friends with my ex, I can't leave her alone, she's still a very instrumental part of my life, then you need to be able to relay that to anybody that comes into your life afterward. But you need to relay it with the sense of confidence so that that person does not then be insecure towards your ex. So hear me out. Because when you flaunt your partner, especially a lot of situations, it's like a really new partner. Like you get a new partner really fast after you broke up with your ex. So it's just like, of course, they're still resentful. That takes us back into the timing. Y'all need some space. Y'all need some time. Now, if 4 months later, y'all decide that y'all want to be friends and you got a new girlfriend or you're dating somebody or whatever, you need to that person is understanding, like, oh yeah, that's your ex-girlfriend. Yeah, she's pretty cool. Yeah, that's your ex-wife, or oh, that's your baby mom, and y'all still kind of talk on the phone, or y'all still kind of do stuff or whatever. Then it's just like, okay, but I know you have to let this person know, and you have to give it to them with a sense of security that, yeah, we're really just friends, don't be sneaking talking to her in the bathroom like, yeah, I'm not gonna trust you. What the fuck is going on with you and your baby mom? I thought y'all don't fuck with each other like that. But if you can be open and you can be honest, then it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game. But you have to be very mindful on your dealings with both people, because you will ignite anger in the ex that you're now friends with if you don't be really upfront about your situation. Because if you say some shit like, oh yeah, I'm not talking to nobody or whatever like that, what are you lying to her for? She's your ex, but y'all are friends. Don't lie and say you don't deal with nobody. Now, only time this won't really work is if you get into like a relationship with a person like you cheated on her with or left her with. That's probably never going to be a good idea. Nobody, I don't give a fuck how cool we are. I don't want to see that. Don't bring that bitch around, because I'm going to kill her, I'm going to kill you, and everybody's going to be dead. Like, I don't want to do that. But if it's just a random new person and you've moved on and our friendship is solidified and you just trying to live your best life, rock out. I want to meet her and all that shit. But that's just me, But you have to be upfront and you have to be honest, because you don't want that person, if and when they do meet, if that's a situation you want to get into, because it's not always the best idea to be mixing them together. Sometimes it's just knowing that I have a girlfriend and knowing that you're my friend, that's enough. It doesn't always have to be overdone. I've overdone it. I can admit I have overdone it. I've been in situations where I've overdone it. I tried to keep my ex-friend, my friend ex, and then my new partner, and I try to mesh everybody together. And it's like, we about to have cookouts together. We all going out together. We going out to drink together. Sometimes that don't work. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. So you just have to kind of be mindful. You don't have to mesh them together, but everybody should just kind of have a general understanding. But you don't want it to be nothing sneaky on y'all, and then now your new person is insecure of your ex, or you don't want it to be nothing sneaky, or you lying on this end, and you gotta be like saying weird stuff like, oh, now any other time I call you, you'll answer, but now you gotta ignore my calls, and now I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? When you could have just said, yo, I got a girlfriend, so we ain't gonna be like talking, or if I'm with my girl, I'm not gonna answer. Or you should be able to answer, because then if I was the girl, it's just like, well, why you can't answer? What the fuck y'all talk about when I'm not around that you need to wait until, you know what I mean? Wait, when I'm around, you can't talk to her. You can't answer her phone calls. Now, y'all be talking 20, 30 minutes because I see on your call log. Don't be a bitch that looks through phones. But anyway, I see on your call log that y'all be talking 20, 30 minutes the other day, and now you can't even answer the phone because I'm sitting right here. So that's suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Some stuff is really so simple. A lot of things we do that make us look guilty, and they be innocent ass things, but you be out of nervousness or fear of being straight up. Just be straight up. When you straight up, everybody wins. Everybody wins. Because everybody gets the opportunity to sign up for this shit. You're not the bad guy if they signed up to do this shit and, you know what I mean, and they just don't like it. Now, if you don't like it, you don't like it, and you're free to go. But I told you from the beginning that this bitch right here, she was around. She's not going to, and again, there has to be the boundaries already set. She's not going to do nothing to disrespect you or disrespect us. Or, you know what I mean? It's not like you're going to go through my phone and she's going to send me a naked picture. No. But that's my people's, and she might call me or she might need help with something, and I'm going to be there. Perfect example I can use, and I said I wasn't going to do this, but for an example, like, I recently, you know, you guys already know, I'm really close with all of my exes. Like, anybody that I was in a serious relationship with, I am still very, very much involved in, you know, with them. Not very much involved, but I still have a great deal of feelings for them, and we all have established serious friendships. Like, any of them could call me at any given time, and if they needed me to do something, had to ask me a question, or whatever, I would be there, and it is reciprocated. So that's me, and that's my situation. So I recently had a scenario where I was in the area of one of my exes, and I had to call them for help. And they were right there. And they were right there, and it was like, okay, that's how this is supposed to go. This is the person that I was going to call, because this is the area I was in. If I was in the area of one of my other exes, I would have called them. But, you know, you have to it has to be that established respect. Long as there's an established respect, then there shouldn't be an issue. And it's actually something that, in the spirit of transparency, I'm going to let you guys know that I need to address, because I feel like, my ex, they came with their new partner, and they were not. Now, I don't know if the person was having a bad day, and it may not have had anything to do with me, but at the time, I felt it was personal, and this person, gave me, some bad attitude. Now, granted, I was in a very vulnerable state because I need help. I had to call this person, so I'm upset. I'm already frustrated. I got enough on my mind. I didn't address it. However, it is something that needs to be addressed, because I need to know what's going on, because in my understanding, I feel like I've been following this. There's an established respect between me and this person, and them and their person, and lines that would never be crossed. So it threw me off, and I'm just like, okay, which honestly is what ignited today's conversation, because I need you guys to know how this thing works. Friends with your ex don't mean that you got an ex that's still trying to fuck you, and they just trying to get you to cheat on your person with them. That's not the same thing. Y'all not friends. That means y'all sneaking around. But if it's an established friendship, and it's just like, yeah, I still, clearly there's feelings somewhere for this person. I love this person, or whatever like that. But I'm not in love with them. I'm not lusting over them. I'm not trying to sleep with them. I'm not trying to be with them. I'm not trying to take them from you. And that's not my intention. Then there shouldn't be a problem. So that, that was something that I experienced that I wasn't feeling. So, I say that to say, make sure that your person, make sure you're doing what you got to do to make sure that that person feels secure, so that they don't have to have any anger or insecurities toward the next person. But, as I stated earlier, we are all responsible and accountable for our own feelings. So if they have extra insecurities, like if they're just an insecure ass bitch or an insecure ass nigga or a jealous nigga, then that don't have nothing to do with me. It don't got nothing to do with you. It don't got nothing to do with us, whether we was friends or not friends. That's just different. But if you're doing something to make that person feel insecure about your ex, then it's your fault. But if you didn't do anything, and it's just like they just have their own problems, now they're accountable for that. But you just have to be mindful in your dealings. You have to make sure that the way you move in solidifies that we're just friends and you are okay. Your spot is secure, and this person knows that their spot is secure. This is your lane, honey. Yes, you're my ex, and you used to do this and used to do that, but this is where you stay. Right now, this is where you live. You live in this square right here. And these are your boundaries. Period. You just set the boundaries. Set those fucking boundaries, and you won't have no issues. You need to let this person know, this is this person, they're there, and they are in their boundaries. We agree on their boundaries. We're very aware, and you're okay. You have nothing to worry about. But if you start giving off the impression that there's something to worry about, then that's where the issue comes in. Last but not least, do not leverage the children. Now, of course, this only applies if you have kids. If you have children together, sometimes, now this is where it gets tricky, because if you are in a relationship with a person that you do not have kids together, however, there are children involved, and there was a deep, connection formed with the children and the ex-partner, then it gets a little tricky, because some people feel like they ain't your kids, go away, we're broke up, so you are away from our whole family. Fuck you, and we all hate you. But, there's other scenarios where, again, we talking, you might have been with this person for 2 years, 6 years, 10 years, 9 years, and these kids are, you guys have formed a family. Because remember, when you get into a relationship, you try to make everybody as together and intertwined as possible. So this is like stepdad and stepmom, or some people been with people with kids from when the kids were a baby, and they might be all they know. That's my dad, that's my mom, or people that actually have children together, and how do you deal with that? You don't allow your personal feelings or your toward that person come in the way. And this is whether you decide to be friends or not. Do not leverage the children. I feel like that's something that is consistently said but still done. People still do it. To this day, they leverage these kids in the middle of these breakups, and it always affects the kids only. Because even if, you don't know what type of bond your children develop with this person, and you have to be mindful of that. And it gets tricky because, you want to say, like, well, if we just try to let the kids stay involved, and how's that work? And it's all, honestly, if you have those boundaries set and you have that respect, that level of respect, certain stuff won't really be an issue. Certain things will not be like a big deal. And a lot of it is just immaturity. A lot of these issues with exes and breakups is rooted by immaturity, or rooted by frustration, or rooted by somebody's, emotion, higher emotions than the other. Because if you just be honest about how you feel, then your emotions won't take you over to be doing all this extra shit. If you know you still angry and upset, then we still need to get some more space, and then I'll talk to you later. You know what I mean? But when it comes to the kids, it's really tricky, because that kind of just goes into being careful on who you get into a relationship with, period. Because if you get into a relationship with somebody that you don't want to build a relationship with your kids, or you don't want them to have a bond with your children, then it's just like, then how do you really want to be with them? But if they do, you get into this relationship and they do develop a strong bond with the kids, and, or you guys have children together. Because if you get with somebody and you decide to have kids with them, and then you decide you don't want them, they can't be that fucked up, because you laid down and had a child with this person, and excuse my bluntness, and you decided to still give birth to this child. There's so many options. So even if it was a mistake or he wasn't shit, then you still had choices. And you exercised those rights, and you still had this child. You brought this child into the world. You can't then say this person isn't fit to be in your child's life, or, because they're not fit to be in your life, they're not. It don't work like that. It does not work like that, and you have to be mindful when you're making these moves. So that was the one thing I definitely wanted to say. Just don't leverage the kids. You just have to find a balance, especially when kids are involved. So we're coming to the end of the show. Give me just a second. And, I just want you guys to be mindful that just go back into everything that we talked about. And you just have to, be patient. Give yourself some time to figure out, what's what and how things are going to be. Because other than that, if you don't take the time to get it all together, then it ain't going to be together. So just take that time. Once you're at that space, be mindful and be clear and upfront about your agenda and what it is that you want and need out of the situation. And if you still can be friends with that person, then be friends with them. Try to keep the disrespect to a minimum. Keep the subtweets and shit to a minimum, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not going to get you nowhere, and it's not going to be a good look. So don't do that. Don't be immature, because remember, it all reflects back on you. Also, we are going to pick our winner. I can't even see how much time I have. I'm trying to see it right now. Pick our winner for the tickets. I have 2 tickets and I left them in my car, but I will get them to you. If you are local in Philly, it is going to be at a secret disclosed location this October 27th. It's Masquerade and Lingerie Party, and the 2 people that I am going to choose, I'm going to choose one person and give them both of the tickets. So that's how I'm going to do that. Give me just a moment. I don't think I can do it from here. Sorry. I will announce the winner on my page, because this is probably about to go off. So I want to thank you guys all for tuning in to Talk to Me Tuesday. Make sure that y'all check out Sham God. Make sure y'all check out